Assassin's Creed is known for having tons of very, very awesome weapons and gadgets and all kinds of other stuff. These assassins have used everything over the course of the years to kill people, whether it be a simple hook, a hidden blade, or even their own two fists. So today we're going to be talking about the best fists in Assassin's Creed. Oh wait, that's a different website, for a different website. We're going to be talking about the 5 coolest or best or most awesome weapons. These are not necessarily the highest stat weapons in game, since they introduce stats, not necessarily that, but they're really just our favorites that we think are cool and why we think they're cool. So if you enjoy this list, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and down in the description below we have a new Discord where you can join, talk with, and make friends, and see updates and notifications for every new video we upload, since YouTube doesn't show those to a lot of people. There are also a lot of other ways to support the channel down there, including Patreon, my wife Jill's business, Enchanted Glamor, where she makes all kinds of cool gifts and stuff, and other stuff. So hope to see you there. Let's hop into it. Number 5. So the first one for me that flies under the radar for a lot of people is the hook blade. This is from Assassin's Creed Revelations. I understand that this is literally just a better hidden blade. It's essentially just a glorified hidden blade attachment type thing. But one thing that I like about this is all of its uses that are incorporated into the game.
Yeah, it goes beyond just a weapon. It helps you climb, so you can like leap up and grab things higher up than you normally would.
Which it gave a justification for that too, unlike later where they just said, no, you can just do that.
Right. Yeah, and I thought that was cool. It lets you like slide down ropes. One of my favorite features about it was in Revelation how you could actually launch your hook blade at someone and then do like a flip around them.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just thought it was kind of cool.
You know, it was actually written right into the story and into the traversal and the combat. One of the things I really like about it, though, is just that it's so incorporated into the world.
Yes.
I can't think of many other weapons, other than one, maybe two, that we're going to get to, that really are incorporated into the world and lore and writing and aren't just there to be cool or interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head right now. It was only in that game, right?
Essentially, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this was where it mattered. After this, for whatever reason, it just didn't matter anymore. Even that stuff like, sliding down ropes and things like that kind of didn't matter as much.
Right.
Not that it permanently went away. But I don't know, this was kind of such a good incorporation of a weapon and a change that built on the foundations of the original Assassin's Creed. It didn't take it too far off course, but it worked for what it was. Number 4. It's the 4th one.
4.
The next one we have is one of the positive highlights I have about one of our least favorite games in the series, which I've gone back to and started to enjoy a lot more. That is the Sword of Eden. Primarily from Assassin's Creed Unity. One of the things that I love about this is it was essentially just a relic, like a piece of Eden that you used as a sword to just obliterate people.
Right.
The stats on this thing were awesome. The design was really cool. It's genuinely, other than the really fluid climbing and the actually fairly good graphics, especially now on Series X and stuff, it's one of the best parts about Unity was getting to the point where you unlock this. It feels like one of the most interesting rewards for putting time into an Assassin's Creed game out of the entire series.
Yeah, which was surprising to me that it came from Unity.
Yeah.
But yeah, this sword is awesome. I think this was, in my opinion, probably the best just sword in the game, in the franchise.
Right, its design is
just
amazing.
The base sword. Yeah, it looks really cool. It was really fun to use. It was actually powerful. And the fact that it was actually like a piece of Eden, too, was really cool.
Yeah, again, it's written sort of into that story.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is they don't really talk much about the Sword of Eden that much. It's essentially like a side piece of Eden almost, but it still matters and it's still interesting and a fun reward to unlock that a lot of people never got. Number 3.
Possibly one of my favorite weapons, actually. And it's actually from one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games, which I think went under the radar because it came after Unity.
Sadly.
Which is sad because the game was fun. It's the Kane Sword from Syndicate. Now, the Kane Sword has always been one of my favorite weapons. This is one of the Assassin's weapons that I actually wanted in real life. Like, I wanted, like, GameStop or someone to make this.
They recently had an issue where somebody found this at an airport. Did you see this?
No, I did not. They found a Kane sword?
Yeah, he had a cane, and he didn't know there was a sword built into it. It was like an old trick weapon, like from the mob
And he just
era.
thought it was a cane?
Yeah, and they like, I don't think they tackled him. I'm surprised they didn't tackle him and shove their fist up his butt or something.
Well,
that's
they
what like
could
the
do that to
TSA
me.
seems to love doing.
Right.
I thought it was funny. There are real things floating around like this. It's a cane,
Yeah.
and then it has a sword built into it. There's like a hidden button usually, or a lever release on it.
Yeah, or sometimes you can actually like pull the sword out of it.
Yeah,
like
like a
it's
sheath.
kind of like a sheath. Yeah, the Kane Sword in Syndicate was so fun. It really went along with like the Victorian era style of game, because that's when the game was taking place in. And Jake and Evie had a lot of regal outfits and Victorian era outfits, like a top hat and like a big trench coat and stuff.
Yeah, and they mixed it together with assassin elements.
Yeah, and the Kane Sword went along with that. Like, it fit in. And I've always thought this was cool. So there's many different Kane Swords you can have. There's like, it's basically like the Tomahawk of the game. Now I know the Tomahawk in 3 was, you could basically get like one. But there was like
there were variants.
Yeah, there was a couple different designs. This one, it was almost as if there was like a bunch of designs. You could buy them, you could unlock them, whatever. But I just thought this was so fun. You could like take it out and use it as a sword, or you can keep it sheathed and like just use it as a weapon.
Like a club.
Yeah.
It's one of the most time appropriate weapons.
Yes.
Like if they were ever going to include this, I think the Victorian style London game.
Yeah.
That was the place to do it. It also kind of ties into all of the, I guess I would say all of the suave around the Fry family.
Yeah.
You know, it really works with them. But what sucks about that is you don't really get to see a lot of these weapons again later.
Right.
Which is just kind of a bummer.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense. Like, it wouldn't make sense to go into ancient Egypt and Origins and use the Kane Sword.
Right.
But it's still cool, and I still want to see it again.
Number two, the numero dos. The next one we have is one of both of our favorite weapons, and that is the Tomahawk, primarily from Assassin's Creed 3. I love this weapon. Now, one of my big issues with some of these games is there are often a lot of repeated weapons, which are just general things like swords, guns, and stuff like that, which obviously you need to have them. And then sometimes these very unique weapons just kind of go away between games, like we talked about. The Tomahawk was so fun because it had a very interesting and unique brutal style to it with the combat that sort of made Connor's combat feel very different. And I know it's one of people's least favorite combat systems in the series. Like, a lot of people don't really like the Assassin's Creed 3 combat, and I know it has its problems, but when it's running well, the animations for it are just unreal, and everything looks cool. It'll slow down to slow motion in certain points, especially with the Tomahawk strikes. And this is such a well-intended and interesting use of Native American lore to make an assassin unique.
Yes.
You know, that's kind of one of my things with it is using the Tomahawk helps combine the interesting heritage of someone like Connor and where he's from with modern day assassin culture at that time in the colonies.
Yeah, and it actually made it make sense too, you know. I guess I don't really know the logistics of, you know, someone could psychoanalyze a hidden blade versus a tomahawk, which one's more effective, I don't know.
Yeah, and you get both.
But to me, the Tomahawk didn't feel inferior or superior than any of the assassin's weapons. It just felt like a great assassin's weapon that fit. You know, it felt like something that Connor, who is Native American, would actually try to incorporate in his assassin repertoire.
And do you remember how cool it is how there's especially the one where it has the assassin symbol built in as the blade?
Yeah, that was awesome.
A is turned sideways.
Yeah, I remember that.
I love that. I don't know. It's just, there's not really much to critique on the Tomahawk. I would actually argue in this game it's as good or maybe even better than the Hidden Blade.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel OP or underpowered either.
Right. Yeah, and I thought, speaking of some of the animations you said, I just thought it was really cool because when you do a kill, he would do more brutalized kills than what we're used to. Like, for example, in older Assassin's Creed games like 2, if he would do like a hidden blade kill, it would basically just be he'd stab them.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, he might do like 2 or 3 strikes.
Yeah.
Because that's probably what it would do.
Yeah, and usually hitting them in the neck or somewhere vital, essentially, to finish them off.
Yeah, I just thought it was all around awesome. It fit his character, and it was just fun.
It was really cool. It really does sort of build on that character very well and that time period. Number 1!
Splat.
I have it.
Yeah, you have a foam Mjolnir.
I do.
But this is the real Mjolnir. And this thing is so cool. I mean, look, call us nerds. We are huge, huge fans. Very big, very huge fans of the MCU and Marvel Comics and stuff like that. So obviously we love Thor, in his inclusion there. But we have both always had a very big interest in the Norse gods and stuff like that. And I know that for both of us, a lot of our personal heritage is from areas around there. For me, mainly Norwegian, Swedish, and Irish and stuff like that. And you're kind of a mix, but also a lot of German.
Yeah, German and Finnish and some Swedish too.
Yeah, and so like for us, not like to say this Mjolnir's our culture.
Right.
But like it's kind of cool to see like this incorporated in Assassin's Creed, this old world religion item. That's so interesting with mysticism and all that stuff tying into it. I genuinely, it's like hard not to fanboy about it.
Yeah, I think it's especially cool because in Valhalla, the weapon Mjolnir is not just like a random thing thrown in. It actually makes sense for the story because part of the story is you get to go and play as basically Odin in Asgard, and you talk to Thor and all the other gods. And they all have their own story there. And you can experience their story as well. So seeing something like Mjolnir in Valhalla actually makes sense. It's not just like a cool thing they threw in, like, hey, look, you can play as wield Mjolnir.
Right.
It actually makes sense to the story. So that's something that's cool. But second of all, yeah, it's just awesome getting it. And when you pick it up, it's in like a special area. There's like a really cool cutscene of you grabbing Mjolnir, picking it up. There's like a bunch of lightning and thunder appearing in the sky.
It's almost like you're playing the Sega-published Thor God of Thunder PlayStation 3 game.
You actually felt like you were getting Mjolnir, which I thought was something that was really cool based on the cutscene and everything. And when you strike with it, every strike has like a electric little like lightning thing coming out of like the hit. I don't know, just everything about Mjolnir, especially combined with you can actually get Thor's armor in the game too. Everything about it just was awesome. And this is literally my favorite weapon. It's just awesome. I can't say enough good things about Mjolnir in Valhalla.
It's really cool. I know there's been a lot of conflicting feelings in the fan base since they changed styles and stuff, but I genuinely don't think one of them can really be the lack of style.
Yes.
Like, I know a lot of people have substance issues with these games, but the style of things like Mjolnir, or even in Origins, the inclusion, or even some of the armors in Odyssey, that kind of stuff, it's just so interesting, and it makes you feel like, hey, what you just earned matters. So let us know what you think in the comments down below. What are some of your favorite weapons from the Assassin's Creed, universe? There's a lot of games. Maybe your favorite is from Assassin's Creed mobile games. I don't know. Maybe it's from the Altair Chronicles. Who knows? Did you know that exists? No one else does. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Please be sure to leave a like. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more content, and check out all those things in the description. They help us out quite a bit. Have a fantastic day, and as always, everyone, stay shui. And if you have a sword inside of your cane, maybe don't bring it into the airport. It's just like a general tip.
That's some good advice.
Yeah, just a general
I was thinking
tip.
about doing that.
Unless you want a free colonoscopy from the TSA, then I guess by all means.